said I was a journalist. I never professed to be a journalist. I'm an entertainer.
I said any number of things about the way Skip sunned him.
Is that when he said, put your glasses back on or
That
something
was
like that?
so horrible to me.
In the ever-changing world of comedy and new media, words have become weapons. And the latest clash between D.L. Hughley, Katt Williams, and Shannon Sharpe proves just how powerful a single sentence can be. It all started with one offhand comment that spiraled into a cultural firestorm, a war of generations where legacy met evolution, and pride collided with progress. It's no longer just about jokes or interviews. It's about control, respect, and who really owns the mic in this new digital kingdom. The storm began quietly, with D.L. Hughley taking a seat on Shannon Sharpe's show, Club Shay. What should have been a routine conversation turned into a viral explosion the moment D.L. opened his mouth and said what many saw as fighting words. He called Shannon's platform messy, comparing it to Wendy Williams with a weight set. That one line was all it took. Within hours, clips were spreading like wildfire across Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. People couldn't stop replaying it, dissecting it, debating it. D.L. Hughley, a legend, a man who built his reputation on sharp wit and fearless honesty, had just taken a public shot at one of the most beloved figures in black media. And that didn't sit right with a lot of people. See, Shannon Sharpe isn't just another ex-athlete trying to make it in media. He's built Club Shay into a cultural force. A place where celebrities, comedians, and icons pull up not just to promote something, but to confess. It's raw, unfiltered, and unpredictable. When Katt Williams came on, it wasn't just an interview, it was a reckoning. He torched the Hollywood system, called out hypocrisy in comedy, and gave fans a level of transparency the industry rarely allows. That's why when DL tried to downplay the platform, fans didn't see it as criticism. They saw it as shade. And then Katt Williams stepped in. Because if there's one man in Hollywood who doesn't let disrespect slide, it's Katt. His loyalty runs deep, especially when it comes to authenticity. In Katt's eyes, Shannon isn't messy, he's necessary. So when he heard DL's comments, he didn't just clap back, he delivered a full sermon. Katt reminded the world that Shannon Sharpe built his empire from scratch, without begging studios for approval or waiting for gatekeepers to let him in. You don't get to disrespect a black man who built his own lane, Katt declared, and the internet erupted. What made Katt's defense so powerful wasn't just his words, but what they represented. This wasn't about ego. It was about evolution. D.L. Hughley comes from an era where media was controlled, filtered, and polished to perfection. Every interview had producers, handlers, and contracts behind it. But Shannon's world is different. It's raw. It's dangerous. It's independent. He walked away from the mainstream, from the comfort of polished sports studios, and turned a homegrown podcast into the pulse of pop culture. That kind of success doesn't sit easy with everyone, especially those who had to play by the old rules. And maybe that's the real tension here, not between men, but between generations. DL represents the old guard, the polished suit, the careful sound bite, the rehearsed version of truth. Shannon and Katt, they're from the new school, no filters, no PR scripts, no permission needed. They speak with emotion, they take risks, and they don't flinch when the internet bites back. To them, the game isn't about fitting in anymore. It's about owning your voice, no matter how messy it sounds. When DL called Club Shay messy, what he might have really meant was uncontrolled. Because in this new era, there's power in not needing approval. Shannon doesn't answer to a network. He doesn't owe his platform to executives or sponsors. He built it on his name, his hustle, and his raw charisma. That's what makes him untouchable. You can't cancel what you don't control. And that, right there, is what Katt Williams was defending. Not just a man, but an entire movement of creators taking back their power. Let's be honest, D.L. Hughley isn't wrong about everything. He's seen how the internet twists words, how one clip can destroy a career in seconds. His fear isn't misplaced. It's the voice of someone who survived long enough to know how brutal the spotlight can be. But what he may not realize is that the world he helped build doesn't exist anymore. The audience has changed. They don't want safe. They don't want perfect. They want real. The shaky, unfiltered kind of real that makes you feel something. And that's exactly what Club Shay gives them. Katt Williams made that clear. He said Shannon's show isn't messy. It's liberation. It's a space where truth finally has a home. For decades, black entertainers have had to shape their words to fit the comfort of white-owned studios, to play the game just right or risk being erased. But now, they're building their own stages. Shannon isn't chasing clicks. He's creating conversations. He's giving space to people Hollywood blackballed and letting them speak without fear. That's why people call him untouchable, not because he's above criticism, but because he's grounded in something bigger than fame. The irony, of course, is that Shannon never clapped back. He didn't post a response, didn't trade shots online, didn't even hint at shade. He stayed silent, and that silence spoke volumes. It showed control, confidence, and class. Because real power doesn't respond. It just keeps building. Meanwhile, the internet kept doing what it does best, turning a spark into a wildfire. Commentators, fans, and fellow comedians weighed in, some siding with DL's old-school professionalism, others rallying behind Katt's passionate defense. But one thing was clear. Club Shay had once again become the center of the cultural conversation. This feud isn't really about who's right or wrong. It's about what's next. The entertainment world is shifting before our eyes. Legacy media is fading, and independent voices are taking over. Shannon Sharpe represents that shift. His proof that you don't need Hollywood's blessing to make history. His proof that you can leave the system, take the MIC, and build your own empire brick by brick. And as long as he keeps that same authenticity, the kind that doesn't care about polish, his influence will only grow. DL Hughley helped build the road. But Shannon Sharpe and Katt Williams? They're paving the next one. They're louder, freer, and unfiltered. And that's exactly what this new generation wants. The old rules don't apply anymore. The future belongs to those who dare to be real, even when it's messy. So now the question isn't whether Club Shay is messy. The real question is, are you ready for this new era of truth? Because the media landscape has changed forever. Shannon Sharpe isn't waiting for permission. Katt Williams isn't asking for validation. And DL Hughley, for all his wisdom, just gave the culture its latest lesson. Adapt or get left behind. This is Buzz and Drama, where we break it down raw, real, and unapologetic. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments. Was DL Hughley right to call Club Shay messy? Or do you agree with Katt Williams that Shannon Sharpe's platform is untouchable because it's real? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the drama doesn't stop here. The new wave of media isn't waiting for approval. It's taking over, one unfiltered conversation at a time.